Good morning. I'm at Fuller Theological Seminary in Pasadena. Looking at the statue right now, that is captivating me. We've got two men on either side of Jesus. We've got one man holding his arms down. Look how real that expression is on this guy's face. Okay, here we have Jesus. Just a minute or two, and you're going to be brought to tears by just looking into his eyes. We have him struggling a little bit, but being completely submissive to what he knows he needed to do. We have another man here. Okay, he's got the hammer in his hand. He's got the nail in the other. He's holding it down. He's got his knee propped up on Jesus' arm, right? And this is really interesting. He's got the nail right here tucked into his waist. I'm just looking at this right now. It's bringing me to tears. I don't know how this is going to be filming me right now, but what I wanted to share is that this week at the I Am camp, the kids from Living Grace, we were all together. The last day of camp, we were going to have this big worship celebration night, right? But we got evacuated from the campsite because of a local fire. All the kids from the surrounding camps staying at the facility in Oakhurst, California, had to all go down the hill. We all waited out in a church called Sierra Vista. Okay, so we did worship. Our band from Living Grace did some worship for the students that night while we were waiting there for 4 hours, and we had pizza and salad. You know, they fed us, and then people were on their way to go home as well as be picked up by their parents up in Oakhurst. What I wanted to share, and I'm thinking about it right now as I'm next to this beautiful statue of Christ being crucified, is that we were worshiping, and I was singing and leading the students into that while we had the musicians leading the musical part. We led worship, and here's what was wonderful. A camp that had a group of students that were not part of our camp were able to join us. They were able to sing and worship with us. And one girl just started travailing. She was like shouting, "Ah! Ah!" And it was like, what is going on with her? Is she okay? She said, "He's real. God is real. I could feel him. I felt him. He's not just stories. It's not just stories. He is real." And she's crying and bawling her eyes out, probably 15 or 16 years old. If that's not a testimony of Christ and his bodily form, she could feel his spirit. If that's not a testimony of Christ, I don't know what is. You know what I'm saying? So just as I'm looking at this statue, as I'm getting a physical picture here of what we're looking at, it's not just stories. The Spirit of God, the Spirit of the living God is resurrected and real. What Christ did for us is no joke. So just that little experience at camp leading worship for the students as we waited out a fire evacuation, another camp was able to participate with us and sing to the Lord, and one girl was touched. If it was all for her, it was completely worth it. She was touched and able to say that it wasn't just stories that she'd been taught her whole life at church, at Bible camp, whatever. They were real stories. The Spirit of the living God came and manifested himself and touched her. She could feel him all around her just while singing some simple songs as a group together. She could feel the presence of God. So I wanted to share that as this 15-year-old girl was completely rocked by the Lord, could feel him. It was not just stories. It was not just an idea, not just a religion, not just something she was taught, but the Spirit of the living God surrounded her and came and showed up for her and said, "Hey, I love you and I'm real." So I just wanted to share that with you today, and be blessed because the Lord did a beautiful thing for us, because he loves us, because we matter, because the world is waiting for the sons and daughters of God to come fully alive in him, and he paid the ultimate price. Check this out. Could this be any more beautiful? Thank you, Jesus.